this lesson, you'll learn how to display and access the contents of lists in your user interface. Lists are addressed on the developer's website on the List View page shown here, under Layouts in the API guides. List View is a view group that displays a list of scrollable items. The list items are automatically inserted to the list using an adapter that pulls content from a source, such as an array or database query, and converts each item result into a view that's placed into the list. There's also a page on the Design Guide section of the website in Building Blocks that discusses lists. And lists are a very common element and used in many apps, and there are a lot of variations on list displays. So let's begin by looking at lists in the API Demos worksheet. In the Demos worksheet, there's a large secondary group of list demos shown here within the Views primary group. And let's look at a basic list display demo. I'm going to use the array demo in line 251, and it has the Java file name of list1. And notice that there are 17 list demos with Java file names of list1 through list17. Now let's start it in the emulator by clicking Views, Lists, and Array. And we see a list of cheeses that we can scroll through. Now let's open it in Eclipse. In the View source folder, we'll open list1. And the first important thing to notice in line 28 is that the class list1 extends the class listActivity. And listActivity is an activity that displays a list of items by binding them to a data source such as an array or cursor, and as we said, activates event handlers when the user selects an item. So what this means is that there is a lot of functionality for handling and displaying lists built into the listActivity class. And notice that we're not using our typical setContentView method to create a screen display. That functionality is built into the listActivity class and its methods that we'll be using. So in the onCreate method in line 36, we're using the setListAdapter method to set up our list display. We're passing one parameter to the setListAdapter method, and that's an array adapter that we create using the arrayAdapter class. To create the array adapter, we use three parameters. The first is the current context, this. The second designates the format for each list item. And we designate a format that's defined for us in the simple list item 1, designated here. And we know what the format looks like from the demo screen. Each item contains a name with a line separator between each entry. The third parameter is the name of a string array variable, mstrings, defined below in line 41. This statement uses the class cheeses. So let's open that class. And we see the string array S cheese strings is defined with this rather huge list of cheeses. I don't know about you, but I didn't realize that there were that many different kinds of cheeses. Now we know. Back in the list1 source, in line 38, we use the getListView and setTextFilter enabled methods. The setTextFilter enabled method, set to true, would allow us to use a key. If we had a hard keyboard available and we entered a character, the list would move to the selection of cheeses that begins with the characters we enter. And if we look at the ListView class on the developer's website, we see a long list of set methods for altering the appearance of the list. And there are more in the ABS ListView base class, including our setTextFilter enabled. That's our lesson on lists, and there are a lot of variations on list displays that you can explore using the List API demos. To understand how they work, go through an investigation of their classes, methods, and parameters like we've done for the ArrayList example in this lesson.